and space station crews flexed their robotic arms several times, racking up the record for robotics in space, and taking one more look for damage at Columbia's heat shield. A civil court jury issuing a split decision for Michael Jackson and a former advisor, the jury awarding $900,000 to the plaintiff, who sued for nearly $4 million, saying Jackson owed him. But then the jury gave Jackson a $200,000 award for a cross-complaint he filed against that former advisor. I'll see you for the next news break coming your way at the bottom of the hour. Hannity and Colmes returns right after the commercial break here on Fox.
Vacations are the perfect place to lose your inhibitions and the worst place to lose your money. Get American Express traveler's checks, and you also get a $500 discount card. Good for great deals on hotel rates, airfares, and more. Get it before August 31st.
You should think about killing the mold in here, big guy.
How's that work for you?
There's a better way to deal with your mold problem.
Big guy?
Tilex, the mold killer.
Hey, hi, you want to save money on gas? How about 10%? Get the Marathon Platinum MasterCard from Chase and receive a 10% rebate for the first 60 days. That's about 25 cents a gallon. Then save 5% after that. Here's an application.
Sure.
Thanks, I gotta go. I need it on pump 5.
At Ford, we're developing new technologies to reduce our country's dependence on foreign oil and help you save money at the pump. We were the first American automaker to offer a hybrid. This year, we'll have 250,000 E85 ethanol vehicles that run on fuel grown in the heartland. And today, Ford Motor Company has a dozen models that get at least 30 miles a gallon. While we can't control the price of gasoline, we're innovating to reduce the need.
Your business is on the move, and we're there for you every step of the way. We are Verizon Business. We're there for you with a global IP network that is flexible and secure. A network you can access how and where you need it. There with the expertise to help design and manage your most critical data solutions end to end. And at Verizon Business, we're there for you in the most important way, with a dedicated team that's personally and passionately committed to your success. People who are accountable for making it all work for you. Global capability with personal accountability. That works. Verizon Business.
North Korean missiles raise world fears, but their military threat is nothing new.
North Koreans bring another international crisis to the already long-suffering world.
Sent to Korea to stop a communist invasion.
It was the first battle in the Cold War.
With their backs to the sea and no chance in sight, they fiercely fought a powerful enemy.
I didn't panic, but I wanted to.
Now we take you inside the incredible victory of the battle for the Busan Perimeter. Sunday at 8. Don't miss War Stories with Oliver North.
This is a Fox News alert. Syria is now openly supporting Lebanon and Hezbollah tonight. The ruling Ba'ath Party says that they will offer support to the people of Lebanon against the barbaric attacks of Israel. This is important because Iran has said that if Israel attacks Syria, that'll mean Israel will be at war against the entire Muslim world. Fox has also confirmed tonight that 4 Israeli sailors are missing after a Hezbollah attack earlier today on an Israeli warship. That's earlier today. We now continue our coverage of the violence in Israel with a host of war stories, Colonel Oliver North. And the reason there is condemnation coming from our allies, remarks like that of Olmert when there was the destruction of Gaza's only power station, June 27th, and he said it was meant to pressure ordinary Palestinians. The concern here is the damage it's done to infrastructure and to civilians in this response, Ollie.
Well, first of all, the number of civilians that have been killed in this endeavor thus far. Remember, it was started by Hamas, and then on the other side of Israel to the north by Hezbollah. It was not started by the Israelis. Second, the attacks that have been carried out by the Israelis have been aimed at making sure that Hamas and Hezbollah pay a terrible price for what they've done.
What would you say?
Today,
Go ahead.
The attack today by the by a UAV, probably a Mirsad-1 UAV, which is the name Hezbollah gave to an Iranian-provided drone, is proof of Iranian complicity in all of this. For the Iranians to be now demanding that the rest of the world stand up and fight, it's absolutely mind-boggling that anybody would give it a moment's worth of consideration.
What would you say would be too much of a... At what point would you say, all right, enough, this has got to be tamped down? What would make you say that?
Israel has fought five wars that have been fought by Israel since it's existed in 1948, came into existence. In every one of those wars, their neighbors took on Israel, and every one of them lost. The outcome of this is not going to require U.S. military force. The outcome of this is going to eventually be a political settlement.
Right.
What's going to happen is Hezbollah and Hamas stop the terror. That's the only goal that the Israelis have here. Not
How
to
do you
gain
move
territory.
toward that political segment? I mean, that settlement. There is none of that's happening now. How do we get there from here?
Well, over the course of the next several days, that's not going to happen. What you're going to continue to see are military operations. The Israelis are letting the IDF speak for them. And today's attack by a UAV, by the way, I've got right here in front of me, I'm holding up a propeller from a UAV that's about the same size as the propeller on the UAV that struck the Israeli ship today. Powered by a 10 horsepower gasoline engine, flies at about 100 knots, payload 40 to 50 pounds of explosive. Very simple to launch from the street or a pneumatic launch rail, no need for a runway.
Colonel,
and this propeller is about the size of the one on the ship that hit the ship today.
The terrorists kidnap Israeli soldiers and civilians. They're firing hundreds of rockets into civilian areas. They're hitting now private, non-commercial vessels, non-military vessels. And I know there's an appeasement mentality in the world that says we got to sit down at the table. Isn't the real answer to Alan's question victory over the terrorists? Maybe you could explain to me. I don't know how we win the war on terror and not defeat these two rogue nations. Do you? Is it possible?
Well, the sad thing is that we're not going to get a consistent statement out of the G8, which is meeting in St. Petersburg right now. It's not a coincidence that Hezbollah entered this conflict on the very day that Tehran was supposed to respond to that U.S.-European nuclear weapons package. Iraq, Iran, Israel, India, Korea, Afghanistan, Venezuela, all are big problems, and that uptick in violence has a lot to do with our political process here.
Look, you've watched this a lot over the years, Colonel. You've been up against this bureaucracy going back a number of years in the Reagan years yourself, and that is our own State Department is even joining into the show restrain Israel. And I want to know if fundamentally, if the world is at a tipping point here where there must be a complete acknowledgement that, in fact, we are at war with Islamic fascists. Well, and if we are, we can't negotiate with them, so that means there has to be victory, doesn't it?
There is no doubt that that's what's happening right now. Obviously, the situation in Pyongyang is going to govern an awful lot of what Tehran does at the back end of this. But I'm telling you, Sean, that most of the rest of the world, particularly in Europe, are looking at the cost of oil and the very strong likelihood that if Israel gets its way, the cost of oil is going to go higher, and it's all based on that.
But Ali, stay right there. Coming up in just a moment, we'll have more on the escalating violence in the Middle East. Senator John McCain joins us coming up. Later, Franklin Graham will show us shocking, rare images of what it's really like inside Kim Jong-il's North Korea. All still to come on Hannity and Colmes.
At UBS, financial solutions come from listening very carefully to what our clients say, but even more carefully to what they don't say. You could call it the commitment to understand. We just call it you and us. You and us, UBS.
Pop quiz. What midsize sedan has more space and power than Camry, has 6 standard airbags, gets up to 34 miles per gallon, and starts under $16,000? Is it A, the all-new Kia Optima, B, the brand-new Kia Optima, C, the shiny new Kia Optima, or D, all of the above? Correct! You picked the Kia Optima, and with the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, there really is no other choice. Hurry in and get $1,000 cash back on the all-new Kia Optima. The best value on the road.
Hallway, kitchen, dining room. Here he comes.
The right floor makes everybody happy. That's why Lowe's has the widest selection of any national retailer, whether it's tile, hardwood, or carpet. We'll even install it for you. Lowe's, let's build something together.
Use your Lowe's card and pay nothing for 12 months on purchases of $299 or more in these departments.
There are so many aches and pains that keep you from getting a full night's sleep. But starting tonight, there's a new PM that has them covered. Introducing new Advil PM, the first and only PM with Advil. Now get multi-pain relieving power plus a non-habit-forming sleep aid to gently ease you to sleep. Nothing's proven better on tough nighttime pain. When aches and pains keep you up, there's new Advil PM. Stop hurting and start sleeping.
This could be your own backyard retreat. Simply visit your Marquis Spas dealer for just what you need to make your dream come true. Marquis Spas is celebrating 25 years of manufacturing spas right here in Oregon by offering 2 silver anniversary models with the latest in hydrotherapy features, as well as the convenient constant clean water management with Spa Frog sanitation system. It makes water care a breeze. Marquis Spas, the most therapeutic, energy efficient, low maintenance spas available. Visit Pools and Spas by Sundance in Newport now for your very own backyard retreat.
For $100,000, your cash rhyme. I'm a sci-fi comedy, and I rhyme with snack to the future. Begin.
Snack to the future.
Quack to the future.
Grack to the future.
Don't be a culture fool. Catch up with over 100 free movies on demand with Comcast Digital Cable. It's Comcastic.
And this is a Fox News alert. The Middle East is on the brink tonight of a lot of things. Syria is now threatening to come to the aid of Lebanon and Hezbollah. Now, the Fox News channel has just confirmed that 4 Israeli sailors are in fact missing tonight after a Hezbollah attack earlier today on an Israeli warship off the coast of Lebanon. We continue now. Colonel Oliver North also joining us. Colonel Bob McGinnis, also Colonel David Hunt. Boy, I am outranked. Colonel Hunt.
Colonels in the world, man.
Too many. Yeah, no, that's true. Look, I ask our liberal friends, if terrorists fired missiles into American cities, if they were capturing American soldiers, you know, what would this response of the United States of America be? Would we be trying to find a negotiated settlement?
No. It would be a war, which is what's happening now. I still contend.
We're at war.
We're at war. The Israelis are absolutely. They bombed the Beirut airport. They bombed the road to Damascus. They bombed how many times at Beirut? They got planes flying around. They got tanks moving. It's called war.
Right.
Now, it's not a pretty sight, but that's the answer to what's happening.
If we're talking about Syria, the threats of Iran, which we haven't really brought up in much detail tonight, and we're talking about the different terror organizations, does this war go forward? Is there any chance the United States doesn't get brought into this?
I think you are in it. They're our friends. We support Israel. They support us. I think we are in it, and tangentially right now. But the real issue is that Hamas and Hezbollah are totally supported by both Iran and Syria.
And Colonel McGinnis, this is the problem. Syria, Iran, terrorist groups funded directly. They're funding Hezbollah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad. They have been appeased by the West and by our European friends for decades. What should our reaction be here?
Well, Sean, we've been putting as much pressure as we reasonably can from Iraq on Iran, but you're right. Hezbollah is just finding its oats. It's come out of the background as it's been for almost 20 years to a certain degree after killing so many Marines back in '83. You know, they are, I think, the instruments, almost the proxies of Iran, much like Ali said with regard to Hamas. I do expect that we're not going to see the Israelis tolerating anymore. They're going to have the rumble of tanks in the Golan Heights. They've already got special operating forces, no doubt, throughout, all the way up to the Bekaa Valley, and they're likely softening up, as Dave Hunt just said, a number of targets along the way, and we'll probably in the next 72, 96 hours, perhaps, if there's not a political solution, we're going to find some military action, and it's going to be a quick thrust into
I want to
Lebanon.
get back to Ali in a second, but Colonel Hunt, is Israel prepared to fight a war in 2 fronts? What do they have? What is their capability? What is their military capability compared to Hamas and Hezbollah?
It's total, and they're a great military. They're exceptional intel guys, great special ops guys, great Marines. There's not an issue for that. The treasury, they're fighting terrorists. We also have to fight the terrorist states that are supporting these guys. So Israel can do it. But again, they're our friends, and we're going to get pulled in anyways. I'm just suggesting they are at war already.
Colonel North, earlier today you said something about Hezbollah running Lebanon. 2 cabinet members are in Hezbollah, but the rest of the cabinet in Lebanon and the president of Lebanon, the prime minister, does not support Hezbollah. Is it in Israel's long-range interest to make sure it doesn't destroy Lebanon?
Certainly. And in fact, Israel has been a big supporter of the democratic process in Lebanon. The problem has been southern Lebanon, within which Hezbollah has operated with impunity because of the government in Damascus and the direct support, which we've now seen ample evidence of with this UAV, from Tehran. The real problems, the problem actors in all of this, without the $80 million a year of support that they get out of Tehran, filtered through Damascus, Hezbollah would not exist.
Colonel, again, should the United States have a responsibility here to get moderate Arab states together to somehow put pressure, and we can be somehow a force here to make this happen?
Alan, we're not we're not getting moderate Arab states to even stop the support. Well, which colonel did you want? But the moderate Arab states.
Well, the Arab League's going to meet tomorrow, Alan. Perhaps they're going to talk about this, but the reality is I don't think that you're going to find a so-called moderate Arab state that's going to side with Israel or that's going to try to get Hezbollah to back down given the political implications for Iran. Keep in mind, Iran basically wants to grow in its influence, not only in the Gulf, but throughout the Shia crescent, all the way from Afghanistan to Lebanon.
Where does the United States go to get support then to this? All these countries speaking out.
There's a one-way street. It's called go help our friends in Israel and drag the rest of the world with us. There is a war going on that is caused by a terrorist organization that runs Palestine and runs Lebanon. All he said it, everyone else has said it. I'm sorry. This is how it works. We got to help our buddies and the Israelis.
All right, guys, we're going to continue to follow the story. Colonel North, 1 week from tonight, we'll be at that Freedom Concert in New Jersey.
It's going to be great.
Raising money for the families of these brave men and women that fight these conflicts for us to protect our freedoms. Thank you for being with us. Now, the Middle East is more on this issue and this evolving story. Senator John McCain will join us next. And also coming up tonight, the Reverend Franklin Graham is calling on the United States to actually meet face-to-face with North Korea. He did, and he thinks we should. Straight ahead.
When you're a star like me, things are taken care of. You see? A second bag. Second.
Even my independent insurance agent spoils me.
Ryan, after comparing a number of companies, I recommend Drive Insurance from Progressive. You'll get a policy customized just for you.
How does the other half live?
Actually, I do it for everyone.
To find an agent who'll take care of you, go to driveinsurance.com.
With a 5-star crash safety rating, the smooth-riding Mercedes-Benz M-Class is safe no matter where you sit. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 ML350.
Our workday never ends. I'm not saying our people don't go home or have lives, but ending our workday here doesn't stop our best thinking from moving forward someplace else.
Dynamic networking from AT&T enables collaboration around the world and the clock, so Alan's company is always ahead of market demands, schedules, and the competition. The new AT&T, your world delivered.
You think that I'd be able to find whatever it is that haunts my mind? You think that I could find that something I can't live without? I couldn't tell you if you asked me. All I know is I want more. Gotta get it right now. You know I really want it and I gotta get more. Gotta get it right now. You know I really want it and I gotta get more.
Why stop my life to test my blood sugar? Isn't there an easier meter that fits into my busy life? I test myself every day. Can't it be more simple?
Only Bayer can bring you a meter this easy, this accurate, and this complete. Contour's unique test strips eliminate the need for coding and sip in a tiny amount of blood for easy sampling, making it the simple way to get fast, accurate readings.
Don't I have enough to think about?
Easy accuracy. Answered by Bayer.
To help get all the fruits and vegetables the USDA recommends, you could wear this. Or drink this. 1 8-ounce glass of Florida orange juice counts as almost 25% of your fruit and vegetable servings. Florida orange juice. Healthy, pure, and simple.
Close the door. Close the door.
Even when you're not watching, it gets closed. Hefty One Zip closes first time, every time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Harris Faulkner. A former CIA agent and her husband tell why they're suing the vice president and presidential advisor and others. Fox News national correspondent Steve Santani is live in Washington with the latest on this. Steve?
Harris, former CIA agent Valerie Plame is accusing administration officials of spreading rumors, telling lies, and trying to ruin her career. Plame and her husband, Joseph Wilson, spoke out today about their lawsuit against Vice President Dick Cheney, his former chief of staff, Scooter Libby, and White House advisor Karl Rove. Plame says she trusted the government to protect her identity.
That a few reckless individuals within the current administration betrayed that trust has been a grave disappointment to every patriotic American.
Now, Scooter Libby is the only one charged in connection with the leak investigation, but the lawsuit claims he was just part of a whispering campaign to punish Joseph Wilson for criticizing the Bush administration.
These officials' abuse of power for personal revenge broke faith with their obligations as public servants to uphold and defend the Constitution.
But Robert Novak, who printed Plame's identity in his column, told Fox News today she was outed many years earlier by convicted double agent Aldrich Ames. Harris?
Steve Santani in D.C., thank you very much. Our next news break just after the top of the hour. Hannity and Colmes returns right now.
This is a Fox News alert. The Syrian government says tonight that they will come to the aid of Lebanon and Hezbollah against the, quote, barbaric attacks by Israel. This could be the catalyst that leads to all-out war, we should say, because this is threatened to come to Syria's aid if they're attacked by Israel. Now the question becomes, if this war spreads, what will the United States do? Joining us now, retired Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, Colonel David Hunt, and Fox News military analyst. Colonel McGinnis, let me go back to you. With the G8 meeting, what influence can they have, and the United Nations? Can those forces come together here to make this move in the right direction?
Well, Alan, Kofi Annan has already sent 3 envoys down to the area to try to negotiate something. I don't think they're going to have an impact. The G8, perhaps, Vladimir Putin is saying some tepid things about what's going on, rather condescending, I think, to Israel, given the situation there. President Bush has been very supportive. He's called all the national leaders in the area. And, of course, there have been other members of the G8 that have been making statements. But the reality is, I don't think there's anything they're going to say that's really going to influence the Israelis at this point. The Israelis are defending their sovereignty. They're defending themselves from killers that are in the south and in the north. And they've gone through this before 5 times. They've accepted the criticism. It doesn't matter if they are only a tepid response or a major response. They're still going to be criticized. And at the end of the day, they don't want Hezbollah to be a living organism that's going to continue to hurt their people.
Colonel Hunt, when Syria says we're going to support Lebanon and Hezbollah, they're two different things. Lebanon is an established government. Hezbollah is a small part of that government. And the goal here should be to hopefully maintain a democratic Lebanon and a secure Lebanon.
Yes.
Apart from Hezbollah.
However, Hezbollah also has its own militia, its own public relations. It's a very powerful organization and the answer to Syria is, what are you kidding me? They got 2 soldiers. What do we care what Syria does? Syria needs to back up and stay in Damascus. That's just ridiculous. Only thing they can threaten with is terrorism. They have no military.
And what about the G8 and you? And you agree with what Colonel
G8 cancel, come home. Why? Because you need the President of the United States.
Leave the
rest
G8.
Of the
Come home.
We got one leader. They live in a free world. Bring them with them and help solve this. G8, it's over. I mean, the only thing anybody cares about is this.
Colonel Hunt, but we wanted a Hezbollah-free Lebanon. I mean, for ultimately we're helping out
100%.
the fledgling government there. All right, I want to move into this question, because the larger issue here, if we really believe that the root cause of all of this, the funding, the fomenting of terror is coming from Syria and Iran, we got to ask ourselves a question. When you have an Iranian president that is actively seeking nuclear weapons, denies the Holocaust exists, that repeatedly says he wants to annihilate Israel, wipe them off the face of the earth. He sounds as close to Hitler as anything in our lifetime. We saw that Hitler meant what he said. Why should we not believe he means what he says? What should be done about that guy, Ahmadinejad?
Ahmadinejad, though, we can kill him if you like. I don't mind doing it. The problem is you got to have somebody in the wings that's in your favor. Just whacking a world leader, you got to have somebody there.
Right,
the problem is you can put pressure.
I'm not talking about an individual. We're really talking about the larger state of Iran.
That is a combination between Israel's pressure, Europe's have got to get in this game. But as you know, there's only one way it's going to happen. Is we're going to have to lead the rest of the world into a forced issue with Iran, because it's going to continue.
Thank you for being with us, Colonel Hunt. Appreciate it. Colonel Bob McGinnis, thank you for being with us. Joining us now, I believe, in the great state of Iowa tonight. What a surprise. Senator John McCain is back with us. Senator, we see the escalation going on here in the Middle East. Your initial thoughts, sir?
My thoughts are that the Iranians are the key players here. The Russians do have influence over them. But we ought to understand that Hezbollah is a creature of the Iranians, who, as you just mentioned in the previous conversation, are dedicated to the extinction of the state of Israel. And there's a great deal at stake here. And the Iranians have got to understand, as well as the Syrians, who, as you know, were responsible for the assassination of the prime minister of Lebanon, that we're going to support Israel, and Israel is going to respond because they're a democratic nation that have suffered an unprovoked attack.
Senator, assuming that we are all right here on this panel tonight, and that is that we know that Iran and Syria are fomenting these terror attacks from the very beginning and supporting these terror organizations, assuming that Ahmadinejad doesn't care about world opinion, doesn't care about the United Nations, doesn't care about lectures from Russia, and the United States is going to be forced into a situation where we're going to have to make a very important decision. What are some of the options that are available to us, and what do you foresee happening here?
First of all, can I mention Islamic states matter. Hezbollah would be nothing without Iran. Hamas would be nothing without the Syrians and others. And so let's understand how critical these Islamic states, such as Iran, are in this equation. I think that the president is talking very straight to the G8 as we speak. We want a resolution from them calling for the immediate return of the captive Israeli soldiers and a cessation of hostilities and reparations if necessary.
And what if they...
Then I think we need to go for sanctions, and we have to go to sanctions. And then if the sanctions are not honored, then Sean, I think that we have to explore all other options. This is an unacceptable situation, particularly in light of their continued pursuit of nuclear weapons.
When you consider the intensity and the evil and the proclamations and the repeated proclamations and the repeated defiance of world opinion and the unbelievable frenetic pursuit of nuclear weapons, Senator, what would it mean, somebody that has these thought patterns, expresses them publicly, has an antipathy towards Israel to the extent that they have, a support of terrorism and nuclear weapons? That combination could be deadly to the entire world. We cannot let that happen.
We cannot let that happen. You may remember that a couple of months ago I said there's only one thing worse than using a military option against Iran, and that was a nuclear-armed Iran. Now they have raised the stakes dramatically. We cannot remove any option from the table. This is a serious crisis. And let me just mention one other thing. I'm disappointed in the European reaction. If a group of terrorists came across our border and killed our American soldiers and captured them, I think the American people would be favor a very robust response. And I think that that's called for in this case. I don't know if the Israelis did everything right, but I certainly support what they're doing.
Senator, it's Alan. We'll get back to you in just a moment. Thank you for coming on with us tonight. We check in with Martha McCallum. She is sitting in tonight for Greta Van Susteren, and she'll now tell us what's coming up at 10 Eastern as she goes on the record tonight. Martha?
Alan, thank you very much. We're going to continue the march of speaking to the generals tonight about the very explosive situation in the Middle East. I'll talk to General Alexander Haig about that. And then we're also going to take a look at a very mysterious case in Texas. A young woman stabbed 27 times. We'll speak with her sister about a Match.com organization that she was involved in. All that coming up tonight when we go on the record. Back to you, Alan.
Be sure to watch On the Record right after Hannity and Colmes. Still to come tonight, Franklin Graham will take us inside Kim Jong-il's police state of North Korea. A lot still to come. Senator McCain joins us again when we get back.
eLoan's loan consultants don't make money based on the rate of your loan, so you get the rate you deserve.
No wonder home buyers are so excited about eLoan. That's just one of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan, radically simple.
It's time to play Take on Orbits. Today's players want a total vacation, hotel plus flight, and must save over $300. Go.
I need a deal to Cancun. Done. Congratulations.
It's that easy.
Lincoln Mercury has some of America's hottest selling new models. And to celebrate, every 2006 Lincoln car, SUV, and luxury pickup has the best values of the summer during the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance. Like Lincoln Zephyr, winner of the Luxury Car Interior of the Year. Now lease Zephyr with 0 first month's payment, 0 down, and 0 cash due for only $364 a month. Don't miss the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance.
Are you getting enough fiber in your diet? To get the 25 to 30 grams of daily fiber you need for ongoing good health, what else would you have time for? That's why there's great tasting Fiber Choice, the chewable fiber supplement. Each bottle contains 180 grams of fiber. You'd need more than 3 bottles of fiber pills at 3 times the price to get the same amount. And try new Fiber Choice Plus Calcium with as much calcium as 14 ounces of milk in each dose. Fiber Choice, original and new Plus Calcium chewable tablets.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
Gesundheit, you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I have that virus that's going around.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, you better stay back. This one's a doozy.
That's okay, I'll be fine.
No, do not be a hero. Last year, there were 114,000 known viruses for PCs.
PCs, not Macs. So you just grab this.
I think I got a crash.
Okay, if you feel like that'll help, good.
Your business is on the move, and we're there for you every step of the way. We are Verizon Business. We're there for you with a global IP network that is flexible and secure. A network you can access how and where you need it. There with the expertise to help design and manage your most critical data solutions end to end. And at Verizon Business, we're there for you in the most important way, with a dedicated team that's personally and passionately committed to your success. People who are accountable for making it all work for you. Global capability with personal accountability. That works. Verizon Business.
This is a Fox News alert. Fox has confirmed that 4 Israeli sailors are missing after a Hezbollah rocket attack on an Israeli warship earlier today. We'll bring you more details throughout the night. We now continue with Senator John McCain. Senator, we thank you very much for coming on from Iowa with us tonight.
Thank you,
We just
Alan.
had Colonel Hunt say that President
I'm here
Bush...
at the Jordan...
Go ahead,
Yes.
sir.
I would just say I'm here at the Jordan Farm in Waterloo, Iowa. It's a very beautiful evening.
Beautiful backdrop. But what we're talking about here tonight now, Colonel Hunt just said that President Bush should leave the G8. He should come back home and take control of the situation from a domestic standpoint in terms of our involvement. Do you agree with that? Or can we use that meeting at the G8 to make some progress here with our allies?
You know, it's hard for me to tell the president how to handle this. I think so far he has handled the Iranian situation and this crisis quite well. I think only being there would you understand whether he feels he can be more effective dealing with Putin and the G8. And remember, Russia is practically the only country in the region that has significant influence over Iran. So that's a tough call for me to make.
Why do you think our allies, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, the Vatican says, spokesperson says the Holy See deplores the attack on Lebanon, a free and sovereign country, all critical of Israel. Why do you suppose all of our allies are making similar statements as the Holy See has?
I'm deeply disappointed. I believe that the facts are clear, that these were unprovoked attacks. The Europeans have always had a different tilt than we've had, not only towards Israel, but towards the promotion of democracy and freedom. And could I just quickly remind you, the Israelis left southern Lebanon. They evacuated Gaza. They've offered to evacuate 90% of the West Bank, and this is what they get in return.
Is it important to recognize that as Israel goes into Lebanon, and there's bombing of infrastructure, that Hezbollah is not Lebanon. They're not synonymous, and that most Lebanese people don't want Hezbollah running their country.
Then I think they should be grateful for the Israelis taking them out, particularly the areas where they have been for many years and where they're launching the rockets from into Israel. The reality, as you know, Alan, is that the Lebanese government does not control Lebanon. There's Hezbollah in the cabinet, and they're paying a very heavy price for that because they never should have had Hezbollah in the government, and they should have disarmed them. It's too late.
Hey, Senator, it's Sean again. I want to go back to this issue of the world's reaction to this. This has really gone on for decades. It seems to be at this moment, 5 years out of 9/11, I would even call it a mysterious reluctance to accept the truth that there is a dramatic clash of culture going on, that there is this unmatched fanaticism that is literally seeking to destroy civilization as we know it. And I am very puzzled by the reaction Alan was discussing here, and that is that if Israel is attacked, if their citizens are having bombs landing in their communities, if their soldiers are taken hostage, the world's reaction seems, well, Israel must stop. I find that beyond peculiar. It seems like there is almost an unwillingness to accept that we are at war with terrorists now.
There is an unwillingness, in my view, and part of it has to do with the fact that our European friends have very limited, if any, military capability, so they're then driven to, quote, diplomacy until that's more than exhausted. We've seen that on several occasions in the past. I think, second of all, it's clear that the United States has a very different view about our support and advocacy for democracy and freedom throughout the world, including Israel, including Iraq. And finally, I hate to say it, but I have detected what may appear to be some anti-Israel bias in some of the attitudes of our European friends.
You know something, Senator? I sense the same thing, and I think it's been there for a long time. We have seen this attitude in the United Nations, a virulent anti-Semitism that has existed for a long time. It is spectacular. If you look at India, Spain, Bali, Britain, the attacks in the United States, there's an unwillingness to accept it. I guess the question the American people want to know tonight, though, Senator, is if this continues to escalate, and it appears it will, what role the United States will have to play in this battle? Are we going to stand by our motto, which is you're either with us or you're against us? If Israel's under attack by terrorists, will we stand firm in their corner? Will we not only support their right to defend themselves, will we help them? Should we help them?
It is in our interest to not see unchecked and unaddressed a situation where there is an Islamic State, Iran, that is sponsoring terrorist groups such as Hezbollah and Hamas and others throughout the world. It is in America's national interest. We cannot let Israel be destroyed by a radical Islamic movement because there's no doubt who's next.
But isn't that the goal?
So this is in the United States national. Yeah, of course that's their goal, and we better understand that and appreciate it.
Yeah, and their goal is to annihilate the state of Israel. It's stated by Ahmadinejad. And Syria, and they are fomenting and supporting the terrorist infrastructure that's involved in trying to accomplish it.
Yes, and that's what makes them so dangerous. Hezbollah by themselves, Hamas by themselves, without the state sponsoring their terrorism, is not nearly as dangerous. But again, I want to point out is that they are out to destroy us as well as Israel.
Good point.
Senator, we thank you very much for coming on tonight. Good to see you.
Thanks, Senator.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Senator John McCain. Coming up next, Franklin Graham will take us inside Kim Jong-il's police state of North Korea. We'll see some amazing video coming up.
The Ford Freestyle crossover. More than 500 miles on a tank of gas.
Thanks for inviting me this weekend. Sure. All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
Bye, Dad. Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
Interest rates keep climbing, and so are your monthly payments. Refinance your adjustable rate mortgage with LendingTree and save as much as $250 a month. Call 1-800-555-TREE now to lower your monthly payments. When banks compete, you win. Rates are climbing higher, and so are your interest payments. Refinance your adjustable rate mortgage with LendingTree and save up to $3,000 a year. Call 1-800-555-TREE now before rates climb even higher. When banks compete, you win.
I know a place where you can win tickets to the nation's biggest sporting event, Spirit Mountain and the Sports Fantasy Giveaway, now through August 25th. Come down and play for your chance to win. Complete rules available at the Coyote Club booth.
Can I get you some coffee? Let's look at some cars. We got Chevy, Lincoln, Honda, Acura, Nissan, Dodge. We've got Celica, Rav Camrys. Have these in charcoal mist blue. So you like the Cam? Yeah, the Miatas are great.
Now you can control the car buying process. Shop the Northwest's largest new and used inventory.
Let's see if you qualify. You're approved!
Even get financing, all from the comfort of home. Tonkin.com. The car you love is just a click away.
Mattress World has the all-new Sealy Posturepedic and Simmons Beauty Rest.
Right now, save 20, 30, and 40% on the very latest model.
This will be your first chance to get the newest products at huge discounts.
Plus, no interest, no payments for 1 full year.
This sale won't last. If we can't beat any price on any comparable mattress, then the mattress is free.
It's not too late to sleep like a baby. Mattress World.
Mattress World, off I-217 on Cascade Avenue, next to Burlington Coat Factory.
You can order on demand, and look what you can order right now.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
From the makers of Scary Movie.
Idiot! Hell no, I won't marry you. Go!
Date Movie, now on demand. Oh my God. The pulse-pounding thriller Firewall is now available.
I'm done talking.
Don't miss it. Hit movies without the trip to the video store. On demand with Comcast Digital Cable.
We continue on Hannity and Colmes. Reverend Franklin Graham is one of very few Americans who visited Kim Jong-il's North Korea. In 2000, Reverend Graham met with the government leaders and preached in churches around the country. He's now called for President Bush to meet directly with Kim Jong-il and diffuse the growing nuclear tensions. Franklin Graham joins us. Reverend Graham, I got to tell you, this will probably be the first time you and I have disagreed. I think that's exactly what he wants, and we would be capitulating to his terrorist actions.
Here's the way I look at it, and of course it's just my point of view. We talked to China, and Mao Zedong was responsible for the greatest genocide probably in the history of the world. 60 million people that the Communist Party in China killed. Now, you know, President Nixon went in with Henry Kissinger in the 70s, flew in there and met privately and with them one-on-one. And as a result of that, the bamboo curtain began to break apart. And of course, today, we're still dealing with the communist country, but we're spending billions of dollars. They're spending billions of dollars with us. We're talking to them. Now, we certainly disagree on many fronts. But I think in North Korea, we got to talk to them. If we don't, we could risk a major confrontation.
I support Reverend. I support talking to him. I believe those six-party talks. I think the other countries in the region, I think they have too big a role to play in the eventual peace that will come out of this. But let's be honest. He is a lying dictator in pursuit of nuclear weapons that has not respected any agreement he's ever made anyway.
All right, but just compare this to China. China has nuclear weapons, and they killed 60 million people. But here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we agree with these people. I'm not even saying we have to like them. But I think we must talk to them. And let me say something about these six-party talks. China doesn't want to see the two Koreas come together. This would put a great dent in their economy. I don't think the Russians want to see the two come together. It put a dent in their economy. If the economic engine of the South was united with that cheap labor force in the north, it would be a major power in that region of the world, and Japan doesn't want it.
Unfortunately, our time is so limited here, but I think you have it exactly right. You and I don't often agree, but I think what you're saying about North Korea is extremely important.
That's the first clue you're wrong,
That's the first clue that, that we truly have the ability to unite. I appreciate what you're saying. You're right. The Six Nation talks, not all those nations have the same agenda we have. And that's very important to understand here.
And listen, when you talk to somebody face to face, things change. And I hope that if the president and would see fit, that maybe they could review this policy, because where we are today with these six-party talks, we're not going anywhere.
You said bring them to New York, put them on a train from San Francisco to New York. Let them get a taste of democracy, right?
Absolutely. Let him see our nation from coast to coast. I think it would have a great impression upon him.
No, I don't mean to interrupt, but we got to break it. But you ought to know when you agree with Alan that you are
that you are a great American.
That now I need to be involved in prayer and fasting for you, Reverend. So I'm. All right,
let's do the fasting part.
We'll come back, and we're going to ask Reverend Graham about the conflict and the escalation and tensions in the Middle East and Israel when we get back with Franklin Graham. As we continue, we're glad you're with us on Hannity and Colmes. Thanks for being with us.
The Mercury Mariner is the SUV that proves you don't have to give up anything to get everything. Looks and performance that are winning over Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 owners. Make that X-owners. Need more power? Go for the V6. The compact SUV has never been in better shape. Mercury Mariner. Now get Mercury Mariner at Consumers Digest Best Buy 2 years running at this great rate. You've got to put Mercury on your list.
No matter what you love, all you need is a Chase Rewards card. Everybody loves to earn free rewards. Find the card you'll love at ChooseChase.com.
Imagine how much energy it takes to fuel an entire city of 1 million households, day and night, for 6 years. That's how much energy Kerr-McGee will recover from just one deep water field with just one production spar that produces offshore oil and gas where we couldn't before. Nobody delivers America's energy to Americans like the deep water explorers of Kerr-McGee.
Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Правильно, здравствуйте.
Thank you.
Дэвид?
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте. Рад познакомиться. Nice to meet you. Тяжелый, устали, конечно. Ну, сейчас девочки сделают... Хотите кофе? Ну, девочки, знакомьтесь, это Дэвид.
Здравствуйте.
А это наши сотрудницы. Вы должны быть наладить для них, для всех системы CRM, ERP, Database Management, окей?
What's the international language of business?
PC, server, Windows, окей?
Да.
Software everyone understands. Microsoft. Software for the people-ready business.
A 6-speed short-throw gearbox, a sport-tuned suspension. Start making summer memories fast. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 C230 sports sedan.
As we continue with Reverend Franklin Graham, Reverend, we're watching these tensions. Once again, the clash of cultures, Islamic fascism, attacks against Israel. Your thoughts?
Well, I've been to Lebanon many times, in Israel over 50 times to these countries. And we have many people that we work with there. I talked to Lebanon today, to our contacts. We're helping with the refugees that are coming out of the South. But more than anything right now, we need to pray for our president, that God would just give him wisdom. We need to pray for peace in the Middle East, that God would work in the hearts of the men and women in that region.
And we certainly need to pray for the people of Israel. I do support Israel, but we have many friends in the Arab world.
Reverend,
and there are many people that are suffering right now. People have lost their homes and are running for their lives.
We only have a second left. How's your dad doing? I understand he just preached in Baltimore. How is he tonight?
He's doing well, and he's watching tonight, and I know that he's very interested in both of you men, and thanks a lot of you in the program that you have.
Reverend, I think the one thing Alan and I both need are his prayers, so we'll take them. We always love having you on the program, Reverend. Thanks for being with us. All the best to you and all your great work, and we appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for being with us.
God bless and pray for our president.
Absolutely. I ditto to that. All right, that is all the time we have left this evening, and we will have much more on this, obviously, on Monday night, 9 Eastern. But stay tuned. Our friend Martha McCollum is coming up. She's filling in for Greta tonight, and she'll go on the record. Have a good weekend. See you Monday.
Sean, thank you. We start with this Fox News alert tonight. Israeli officials reporting that a rocket aimed at an Israeli warship missed its target and struck a civilian ship in the Mediterranean Sea. The nationality of that ship or whether there were casualties is not known at this point. And also tonight, Fox News is confirming that 4 Israeli sailors are missing after an attack on an Israeli warship off the coast of Lebanon. Joining us live from the Israel-Lebanon border is Fox News correspondent Jennifer Griffin. Good evening, Jennifer.
Good evening, Martha. That's right. The Israeli army now says that one of those Hezbollah missiles hit a civilian ship in the waters off of Beirut. As you mentioned, there is no confirmation of what kind of ship or where that ship was from. An initial report suggested it was from Egypt. The army, however, said that they did see another ship pull up to remove passengers from that injured ship that had been set ablaze by the Hezbollah missile. No report on casualties as of yet. The Army also confirming tonight that 4 Israeli crew members are missing from an earlier strike by Hezbollah on the Israeli warship. The Army has not confirmed reports that the Shiite fighters flew an unmanned drone packed with explosives into the Israeli naval vessel off the Beirut coast. These are pictures of the burning missile boat. It is now back in Haifa harbor here in Israel, and the army is checking the cause of the damage. Earlier today, Martha, in Beirut, Israel thought it had gotten its man, Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah. An airstrike on Nasrallah's home and his office, leveling both of them. Israel's interior minister bragging that Nasrallah probably won't be able to find a life insurance agent these days. But a few hours later, his voice appeared on Hezbollah TV, suggesting he was still alive, threatening Israel. It was recorded so Israel couldn't trace his location.
You will soon realize the stupidity and the incompetence of your government, and you will find out that they misjudged this matter. It will no longer be only our people who are displaced. That time is long gone, and you too will suffer.
Martha, one Israeli family who fled the rockets in their hometown of Nahariya on the Israeli side of the border to the west came to spend the weekend in the safety of their grandmother's home not far from where we are right now. But they weren't safe here either. A rocket landed in their living room during the Sabbath meal, killing the grandmother and her 5-year-old grandson. Martha, it's extremely eerie where we are standing right now. Behind me, you can see the twinkling lights of Kiryat Shmona. This is one of the northernmost towns. It has been struck by many Hezbollah rockets in the past. Tonight, the reason it's so quiet, everyone's in bomb shelters. Martha?
All right, Jennifer Griffin, thank you very much. On the border of Israel and Lebanon, we're going to check back in with Jennifer as the show continues and news continues to break there. The leader of Hezbollah, as you just heard, saying that it is now an all-out war. So as the stakes escalate, where will it all lead in the Middle East? sounds of battle there. So how did we get to this point? With Israel back in violent confrontation with Hamas and now Hezbollah on two borders. Back on June the 25th, Hamas militants kidnapped a 19-year-old soldier, demanding the release of Palestinian prisoners in exchange for his freedom. Israel said no exchange would happen and began aircraft strikes on bridges and the main power plant in Gaza, knocking out power to thousands there. And the next day, June the 29th, Israeli troops detained Palestinian cabinet members and Hamas lawmakers. And the attacks in Gaza continue. Then let's move forward to July the 12th. Two more Israeli soldiers kidnapped, this time by the militant group Hezbollah, which is supported by Iran and Syria. Israel's prime minister calls this an act of war. Israel goes on the attack, cutting off Lebanon from the rest of the world, striking from the air and the sea, and pummeling their main airport, leaving thousands stranded in Beirut. Israeli warships line up the coast. One of them bombed earlier today, and we can now report to you that there are 4 soldiers missing from that ship. And the offensive continues as Israel pounds Lebanon's infrastructure, the highway between Syria and Beirut, and the major bridges. And yesterday, the target was South Beirut, the stronghold of Hezbollah, home of its political headquarters, TV and radio stations. And the strikes on the south did not let up today. Israel demolishing 2 buildings that Jennifer Griffin was just telling you about. Israel's prime minister has vowed to continue until Hezbollah is destroyed. Hezbollah says it will be an all-out war. They struck back with nearly 100 rockets that have hit northern Israel, killing some and wounding others. Yesterday, an Israeli bus station was pounded with rocket attacks. More than 300 rockets have been fired since the fighting began on Wednesday, and families in Lebanon in search of safety now heading north, as all of the routes to the south have been knocked out. Those who cannot escape are heading to shelters. And as more rockets fall on Israel, more than 200,000 people in the northern towns are hunkered down, as Jennifer Griffin just reported, in bomb shelters. So as we tell you, the violence is still escalating tonight, both sides on the attack. So what type of ammunition is being used by each side, and what targets are they focusing on? Joining us are 2 retired Army generals in Washington, Major General Don Edwards, and here in the studio, Major General Bob Scales. General Scales, and welcome to both of you. Good evening. And let me start with you. While we were watching the sounds, listening and watching what was happening over there, you were nodding your head, saying Katyusha, identifying those bombs as they went off. Tell us what we're looking at here.
What you're looking at is essentially an artillery duel that's going on right now. The Hezbollah is launching Soviet-made Katyusha 122-millimeter rockets. These are unguided, free-flight rockets left over with vintage, probably going back to World War II, into Israel. Israel then picks up these incoming rounds on their counter-mortar, their counter-battery radar, and returns fire with 155-millimeter howitzers and with their own version of Katyusha rockets. So what we have is an artillery duel with each side exchanging rounds. Israeli, very precise, very accurate, able to hit pinpoint targets. Hezbollah, on the other hand, very, very inaccurate. Their purpose is merely just to cause terror inside of Israeli territory.
So, General Edwards, what is it like to be in this kind of battle with this kind of artillery fire going back and forth?
Well, it's interesting that you asked me that, Martha, because when I was in Vietnam, several of us got caught in a barrage of Katyusha rockets, so this brings back a lot of memories. It's a good-sized warhead, and they are not accurate. You can fire them and put them in a village or in a city, but in terms of trying to strike something precisely, no. And General Scales and I were totally in agreement. They're terrorizing the Israelis, and clearly that's working. The Israelis, on the other hand, are using precision munitions for their Air Force very cleverly. They've cratered the airport so that they cannot fly in and out. They're concerned about trying to cut Hezbollah off from getting these 2 Israeli soldiers out of Lebanon. They've cratered the road into Syria. I'm not sure that that'll work, but I understand the attempt. So what you see is a 21st century army with very modern weapons battling a guerrilla force with ancient weapons, but unfortunately thousands of rockets.
General Scales, we listened to the words of Sheikh Nasrallah saying, you know, don't underestimate us. We're not what you think we are anymore. Does he have anything to back up that statement?
Well, sure. What he has backing him up is Iran and Syria. I mean, were it not for the support of money, material, training, command and control, and sanctuary, Hezbollah would be just another nutty terrorist group causing very little damage. But you don't launch 300 rockets into Israel just by cobbling these together in some back alley workshop. All this stuff is coming first from Iran, and Syria, of course, is a transshipment point and a sanctuary. They're assembled in the southern part of Lebanon. They're hidden away in homes, and they're launched into Israel. Without support from Syria and Iran, this would not be the problem that it is today, and Israel knows it, and they're going to do something about it.
General Edwards, last quick question. Has Iran or Syria got anything more than we know about that they could bring to the front to this fight with Hezbollah?
Well, they could. The Syrians have made some fairly dramatic statements about intervening, and they'd love to get back into Lebanon under any pretext, not just because of this. They just love to get back. But the Syrian army is wise enough to understand, hopefully their political leaders are, they don't want to take on the Israeli army. That would be an absolute disaster for the Syrian army. So what they'll do, as the Iranians are, they'll continue to provide ammunition, rockets, whatever, to Hezbollah, and let Hezbollah be the guys that get caught between the Israelis.
All right, General Edwards, General Scales, great to have both of you with us to guide us through this tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martha.
Thanks, Martha.
Well, the death toll in the Middle East, as we've been telling you, rising each day. Something must be done, everyone agrees, but can this violence be stopped? Who will step in? And will either side listen? We're going to ask General Alexander Haig after this. And later, a crime emergency is declared in Washington, D.C. after a surge in homicides in the month of July. How is the city fighting back and protecting itself? Greta went to the scene to explore this developing crisis in D.C., and that's coming right up. Stay with us.
Pop quiz. What compact sedan gets up to 34 miles per gallon, has more power and space than Corolla, and starts under $12,000? Is it A, the Kia Spectra, B, the Kia Spectra, C, the Kia Spectra, or D, all of the above? Correct! You picked the Kia Spectra, and with the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, there really is no other choice. Starts under $12,000 after cash back. The award-winning Kia Spectra, the best value on the road.
Hey, hi, you want to save money on gas? How about 10%? Get the Marathon Platinum MasterCard from Chase and receive a 10% rebate for the first 60 days. That's about 25 cents a gallon. Then save 5% after that. Here's an application.
Sure.
Thanks, I gotta go. I need it on pump 5.
Your business is on the move, and we're there for you every step of the way. We are Verizon Business. We're there for you with a global IP network that is flexible and secure. A network you can access how and where you need it. There with the expertise to help design and manage your most critical data solutions end to end. And at Verizon Business, we're there for you in the most important way, with a dedicated team that's personally and passionately committed to your success. People who are accountable for making it all work for you. Global capability with personal accountability. That works. Verizon Business.
The Mercury Mariner is the SUV that proves you don't have to give up anything to get everything. Looks and performance that are winning over Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 owners. Make that X owners. Need more power? Go for the V6. The compact SUV has never been in better shape. Mercury Mariner. Now get Mercury Mariner, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy, 2 years running at this great rate. You've got to put Mercury on your list.
Saturday, a region on the brink. As war looms in the Middle East, could it mean upheaval for other nations? Get political fallout on the Beltway Boys. Plus, are we getting the whole story? It's an inside look at the media's coverage on Fox News Watch.
Every nation must defend herself against terrorist attacks.
As Mideast violence escalates, the G8 meets. Will the world's leaders bring the explosive region back from the brink? Condoleezza Rice with insight on the next Fox News Sunday.
Good evening, I'm Harris Faulkner. Israel confirming 4 of its sailors are missing. They disappeared after Hezbollah attacked an Israeli warship. Israel also saying Hezbollah missiles have hit a civilian boat off the waters of Lebanon. Some reports saying it was an Egyptian ship, but that has not been confirmed. We'll have a live report for you with more on this at the bottom of the hour. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, saying his instructions are to get a Security Council vote on North Korea's missile testing tomorrow. Bolton had been hoping for a decision today. The U.S. and Japan reportedly saying they will call for a vote tomorrow on a draft that would condemn Pyongyang's missile launches and impose weapons-related sanctions. A federal appeals court reinstating Nebraska's ban on same-sex marriage. The decision overturning a lower court's ruling that said the measure was too broad and prevented gays from participating in the political process. Voters approved the ban as a constitutional amendment back in 2000. 18 states have defined marriage as between a man and a woman. The head of a Hurricane Katrina charity has resigned. The executive director of the Bush-Clinton-Katrina Fund quit 1 day after 7 committee members also left. The charity, established by the 2 former presidents, was responsible for handing out $20 million to hurricane-damaged churches. Outgoing committee members complained the funds were not being properly managed. Our next news break, just after the bottom of the hour, On the Record returns.
Well, a short time ago, the ruling party in Syria released this statement. The Syrian people are ready to extend full support to the Lebanese people and their heroic resistance to remain steadfast and confront the barbaric Israeli aggression and its crimes. The leader of Hezbollah says it is an all-out war, and Israel is not holding back, saying it will fight to the finish and destroy Hezbollah. Joining us live from West Palm Beach, Florida, is former Secretary of State General Alexander Haig. General Haig, it is good to have you with us this evening.
Well, it's delighted to be here.
Tell me, how bad does this look from where you sit?
Well, I think it's a very serious event, and when people are being killed, especially innocent non-combatants, it is always serious. But this is a somewhat overdue event. You know, I've been involved with the Middle East since the very beginning, and almost every conflict I've been intimately engaged in, mostly in the political and foreign policy area. So I can tell you that we've made a number of mistakes over the years, we in the United States and our friends in Western Europe especially, with a level of naivety concerning this whole Islamic fundamentalist movement and its intentions. Their intention is to destroy Israel, so there can never be a negotiated settlement. That's all I hear from our press in the last 48 hours. Who's going to step in and make peace?
So what now?
Peace will be made when Hezbollah has been destroyed. And that's what I think Israel has finally latched onto as their only solution for the future. Because while they have decaying an old weapons system, that's changing with the introduction of Iran into the mix and the attitude of Syria, which is very anxious to get back into control of Lebanon.
Let me ask you this. So given everything that you've said in terms of laying the situation out, now you have Israel in a position where they're saying they will not stop until Hezbollah is done. And Hezbollah is saying this is just the beginning. We're ready for an all-out war. What do you see happening over the next couple of weeks and the next few months?
Well, remember, there's nothing new about this. They're ready for an all-out war. They've been in an all-out war from day one, and they're the ones that have caused all of the problems, but they're acting as the tools of Iran and Syria, so it's somewhat bigger in the background if it goes awry, if things get mishandled. I think it would be a mistake for Israel to go into West Beirut again. It's my hope that they'll take care of Hezbollah in southern Lebanon and take care of them right there. And I think some of the tactics I see appearing are suggesting that's their goal, to destroy Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And that would be a good outcome.
So you've said we've made mistakes in the past. What should the U.S. do now?
Well, we shouldn't have let Khomeini replace the Shah of Iran, which happened in one administration that I participated in. and it caused me to resign from that administration. Later on in the Reagan years, we were naive about the promises of Saudi Arabia that had too much influence in the White House and resulted in the murder of our Marines and our turning our backs and withdrawing. And we're paying for that today in Lebanon.
All right, well, we will...
So we've made a number of mistakes, and I could list them ad nauseum. But now we have to understand we have to support Israel, because Israel is the victim, not the cause, of this problem. And they've done all that you could expect them to do in withdrawing from the West Bank and building a wall and separating and offering to do all that they could do to help this new government get started in Palestine.
All right.
That has been rejected by the terrorists.
General Haig, thank you very much. We're going to continue to follow this story, and we appreciate General Haig being with us tonight, continuing coverage of the violence in the Middle East. We're going to go live to the scene for the latest news later in the show, and we will be right back with more On the Record.
From Main Street to Wall Street, Fox means business.
A 7-speed automatic transmission, a 268 horsepower engine. Start a summer romance that lasts a lifetime. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a powerful 2006 E350 sedan.
I'm Pete. I've had nice bosses, mean bosses, short bosses, tall bosses, she bosses, he bosses, they bosses, serious bosses, nervous bosses, and one kind of funny boss. Now I'm the boss, and my plan is to keep the boss happy.
You do what you love. We'll help you keep your investments on track. Fidelity Retirement Income Advantage. Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
Christopher, you know how your mom feels about you bouncing that ball on her floors.
Need durable paint that's beautiful too? Get American Tradition paint from Lowe's, made by Valspar, a company with 200 years of paint manufacturing expertise.
2 points.
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Use your Lowe's card and pay nothing for 12 months on purchases of $299 or more in these departments.
Here at Sympathetic Car Rental, we offer low rates.
Excuse me, I've been in this line forever, and where are my member savings?
Somebody needs a hug. Who do you think we are, Hertz?
Hertz #1 Club offers special savings, gets you to your vacation faster, and lets you reserve a specific brand and model. Sign up free at Hertz.com.
Portland's WB brings you Portland's only half-hour newscast at 10. Provided by the best news team in Portland, Northwest News Channel 8. Every night at 10 on Portland's WB, get breaking news from around the city, the country, and the world. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather from meteorologist Matt Zafino. Northwest News Channel 8 at 10 on Portland's WB, the 10 o'clock choice.
At 7, see the action. Romance at 11.
Exciting, isn't it? It is exciting.
Seinfeld, weeknights at 7 and 11 on Portland's WB.
Get what you want right away. Go to Circuit City today for a special offer on Comcast high-speed internet. You'll also get a free modem, a $50 Circuit City gift card, and more. So remember, just go today and you'll be online by tonight. Comcast high-speed internet. It's Comcastic.
There have been 14 murders in 13 days in our nation's capital. And now a crime emergency has been declared after this burst of violence. Greta took a closer look at what's going on. She went directly to the scene of some of these murders.
This is this morning's Washington Post, Friday, July 14th. Above obviously on the right, we have the Middle East. On the left, above the fold, 13 days, 14 homicides. Front page news here.
Front page news, and
It is true what they say here, that each victim in the city, violent in July, has a story, and there is a story with each and every one of these individuals. And again, one has to wonder, why did it take a Caucasian male in an affluent part of Georgetown to invoke the crime emergency?
Just reading a paragraph out of the Post. 14 homicides this month, 3 on July 1, 2 on July 2, 1 each on the 4th and 5th of July, 2 on the 7th, and 1 each on the day from July 8th through Wednesday. An extraordinary amount, but not any different than any other year. That's the irony of it.
It's not out of the ordinary.
Not out of the, which is terrible. Which is terrible.
Absolutely. No matter one murder is one murder too many. That's one reason why the chief of police decided to invoke the crime emergency initiative that allowed him to deal with perhaps these horrific crimes that are taking place in the District of Columbia.
Well, let's talk about this. I mean, you know, here we are. This is where one of the murders occurred, this area. This is Georgetown, extremely rich section of this city. What happened here about 2:18 in the morning on July 9th?
Well, it was a very horrific crime. This gentleman by the name of Alan Sennett and a female companion had just come from a movie, and they were on their way home when they were confronted by 3 individuals, one with a knife and one with a gun. At that stage, it turned out to be a robbery. But what happened after or during the course of this robbery is what makes this such a horrific crime. During the course of this scenario here, Alan Sennett is stabbed. He calls out to his female companion to give up whatever she had. One of the robbers attempted to take the female companion and sexually assault her, Greta. During the course of all of this, she gave up her bank card to one of the robbers. They came back, Greta, and they cut Alan Sennett's throat, and they left him to die.
Now, let's admit something. There are lots of murders in the District of Columbia every year.
Absolutely.
And a crime emergency has been declared in the past, but a lot of people are up in arms in this. One of the reasons is, unfortunately, is that it takes a very affluent neighborhood like Georgetown getting a random crime in the middle of the night to draw a lot of people's attention. It happens lots of times in other neighborhoods.
And you're absolutely right, and that is what has rankled a lot of people in the District of Columbia.
All right, let's go to the next crime scene, which incidentally is a poorer neighborhood. It happened about less than 48 hours ago, about 2 o'clock in the morning, is that right?
About 10 to 2, something like that.
Did you know the man who was murdered?
Very well. He was, oh Lord, he was just like a son to me. I peeped out his peephole. He was giving them a fight for their damn money. I don't care what nobody say. He was fighting for his. And then when I heard the first shot, it didn't sound like a shot. It sounded like a pop. Then the second one, I heard a pow. And I got me and my 3 grandbabies, and I ran to the back. I didn't know what to do. I was hysterical. I ain't never been this close. You know, nobody just fight. But I would say he was right in my presence, because I was peeping out this peephole. And when they shot him, they ran out the door. And this was my daughter. She opened the door, and he was kneeling right here.
He was laying right here and bent over, holding his stomach, saying, "Oh my God, oh my God."
Do you have the sense the police pay a lot of attention to the safety and taking care of and investigating and patrolling and fighting crime in this neighborhood?
And I don't think that they are on top of this case like they supposed to be. That's just personal, because I had a personal relationship with him, and I think that they should be on top of it more than what they are.
I suppose it's a double-edged sword for people who live in those neighborhoods. On the one hand, I imagine it's terribly troubling that it takes a crime in a rich neighborhood to finally get sort of an accelerated police action on the street. On the other hand, at least the attention out will now help solve those other homicides if they aren't solved, as well as give them more protections.
All right. Well, coming up, could an internet dating site hold the clue to solving the murder mystery of a real estate agent? Sarah Ann Walker did have an online profile, and her sister joins us with the details next.
Lincoln Mercury has some of America's hottest selling new models. And to celebrate, every 2006 Mercury car, SUV, and minivan has the hottest deals of the summer during the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance. Get the 32 MPG Milan, winner of the Best Midsize Car Award. Now lease Milan with 0 first month's payment, 0 down, and 0 cash due at $257 a month. Don't miss the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance.
You see a troubled steel business. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a chance to invest in a re-engineered steel company poised for a turnaround, building strong returns for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Mutual Series a leader in value investing. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
We've always wanted a home that's unusual.
This is lovely, but we really want a view of the sea.
Yeah.
Find your perfect place. It's easy at RE/MAX.com. Now RE/MAX.com offers more home listings to choose from than ever before. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Think you know all there is to know about getting your cholesterol right? You may be wrong, because getting bad cholesterol down might be just part of the equation. You may also want to get your good cholesterol up. Even more surprising, this cholesterol medicine does both. Crestor. Crestor, along with diet, can lower bad cholesterol by up to 52%. But Crestor also raises your good cholesterol. Down with the bad, up with the good. Is Crestor right for you? That's between you and your doctor. Crestor is not for everyone, including people with liver disease and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you're taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of serious side effects. Down with the bad, up with the good. Talk to your doctor about Crestor.
If you're without prescription coverage and can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Six-speed short-throw gearbox, a sport-tuned suspension. Start making summer memories fast. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 C230 sports sedan.
At this hour, Israel says a rocket aimed at an Israeli warship missed its target and struck a civilian ship in the Mediterranean Sea. And Fox News is confirming tonight that 4 Israeli sailors have disappeared after an attack on an Israeli warship off the coast of Lebanon. Stay right here with Fox News for complete coverage of the violence in the Middle East. And later in the show, we're going to go live to the scene and get you all the latest news from there. But now we're going to turn our attention to a brutal murder that happened in a model home. A real estate agent stabbed 27 times. She was found lying face down in a pool of blood. But her murder remains a big mystery. Who could have killed this mother of 2? Joining us now on the phone is Sarah Walker's sister, Jackie Hall. Jackie, good evening to you.
Good evening to you. Thanks for having us on.
Well, I know this has been a very difficult time for you. I want to ask you a couple of questions about what was going on before this happened. I know that she had a profile on a website called millionairematch.com. I know there's a lot of those kinds of sites out there, but this one was millionairematch.com. Do you know anything about the people that she met or dated through that website?
You know, I don't know much about that. I really don't know the details of all of that, but I know that she did do a profile. As far as who she met or anything like that, I don't know. I think it was a recent thing that she had done before this had happened to her. So, and when I say recent, I mean, you know, like just a few weeks. She hadn't been on there long.
Her husband, her former husband, I should say, said something interesting last night that she had said to him about meeting a lot of men who were about 15 years younger than her, and that it seemed that they all wanted to just sort of come and move in with her and live off of her money. Does that surprise you when he said that?
It didn't surprise me, and I'll tell you why. It didn't surprise me because as I'm sure everybody knows, when you go through a divorce and you still have feelings for the people, or or for your former spouse, that things are said like that, to just take digs at one another.
I see what you're saying.
I don't, I think if a lot of it had to do with the conversation that me and my sister had before this terrible thing had happened to her. And, Randy, I had told her that, he was getting married, and that the gal that he was marrying was much younger.
I see what you're saying.
So I think it was just a dig.
Right.
And I think, those things get taken personally, and I'm sure everybody knows, again, like I said, when you go through a divorce and there's still feelings there, it's who's going to,
all right,
who's going to up the other. That's all.
Yep, I get what you're saying, Jackie. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you more about this. I want to turn now to more on the investigation in this mystery. Tiara Ellis of the Dallas Morning News. Tiara, tell me a little bit about where we are in this investigation. There's also some indication that there was a previous attack or a robbery at her house. Another interesting thing that her husband said was that her ex-husband, that she had a very large Rolex watch on her wrist when he saw her that day that didn't fit her necessarily. Do any of these clues tie into anything that you're hearing?
Well, McKinney police are still looking at a whole lot of angles. The millionairematch.com is one angle. I'm sure any jewelry and whether or not it's missing, police are still looking at those sort of things. And the attack at her apartment in Frisco, that is still questionable. There are some questions about how that happened. Her family that she was actually walked into her apartment and someone beat her up, basically assaulted her. Well, that's a report that Frisco police don't have a copy of. They have no account of that incident, but they do have an account of an incident where she reported that items had been taken from her home, her car keys, some credit cards. But when police arrived, they said that she was intoxicated. Her family disagreed and said she wasn't intoxicated at the time. And those items were there. Her car was there in the parking lot. She just didn't realize it at the time.
All right, a lot of mysterious elements here. Tiara, thank you very much.
Definitely.
All right, coming up, this question from Phoenix. Could this be the big break that police have been waiting for there? A new bizarre connection in the manhunt for two serial killers wreaking havoc in Arizona. Can police catch these criminals before they strike again? We've got the latest breaking news coming up next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Harris Faulkner. The Middle East facing some of its worst violence in years. Fox News correspondent Jennifer Griffin is live in Israel with the latest. Jennifer?
Hi, Harris. Well, the Israeli army is now saying that Hezbollah missiles struck a civilian ship off its coast when it was firing at Israel today, setting that civilian passenger ship ablaze. Another ship showed up to take the passengers off. No word yet on casualties. The army also confirming that 4 Israeli crew members are missing from an earlier strike by Hezbollah on an Israeli warship. These are pictures of the burning missile boat. It is now back in Haifa harbor, and the army is checking the cause of the damage. Earlier today in Beirut, Israel thought it had gotten its man, Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah. An airstrike on Nasrallah's home and his office leveled both. But a few hours later, his voice appeared on Hezbollah TV threatening Israel. It was recorded so Israel couldn't trace his location. Dawn has just broken here in Kiryat Shmona, where we're standing right now, Harris. And as the dawn broke, we heard the artillery start up again. No sign yet that there'll be any let up in this war today. Back to you.
All of that after a very quiet night. Thank you, Jennifer. Next news break at about a half hour on the record continues after the break.
Coming up next on the record, can you help catch 2 serial killers in Phoenix? Police think so. In fact, they are counting on it. And later, violence and mayhem in the Middle East. We go live there for the latest in the extremely dangerous situation.
At Ford, we're developing new technologies to reduce our country's dependence on foreign oil and help you save money at the pump. We were the first American automaker to offer a hybrid. This year, we'll have 250,000 E85 ethanol vehicles that run on fuel grown in the heartland. And today, Ford Motor Company has a dozen models that get at least 30 miles a gallon. While we can't control the price of gasoline, we're innovating to reduce the need.
Interest rates keep climbing, and so are your monthly payments. Refinance your adjustable rate mortgage with LendingTree and save as much as $250 a month. Call 1-800-555-TREE now to lower your monthly payments. When banks compete, you win. Rates are climbing higher, and so are your interest payments. Refinance your adjustable rate mortgage with LendingTree and save up to $3,000 a year. Call 1-800-555-TREE now before rates climb even higher. When banks compete, you win.
That's me, Joanne. And it's my 7th day with Prilosec OTC. When my friend Becky said, let's follow the Big and Rich tour, I thought, not with my frequent heartburn. Then I got Prilosec OTC. Now 5 cities in 7 days. Day 2, Cedar City. Day 4, Flagstaff. Tonight, Albuquerque. 0 heartburn for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. That's my Prilosec OTC. It's day 7 for me. What day are you on?
Your business is on the move, and we're there for you every step of the way. We are Verizon Business. We're there for you with a global IP network that is flexible and secure. A network you can access how and where you need it. There with the expertise to help design and manage your most critical data solutions end to end. And at Verizon Business, we're there for you in the most important way, with a dedicated team that's personally and passionately committed to your success. People who are accountable for making it all work for you. Global capability with personal accountability. That works. Verizon Business.
With a 5-star crash safety rating, the smooth-riding Mercedes-Benz M-Class is safe no matter where you sit. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 ML350.
Tonight in your world, the Mideast in crisis, stocks at a free fall. The Dow suffering another triple-digit loss. Its 3rd in a row, 400 points in 3 days. We'll talk to Israel's ambassador to the UN on what is needed to end the fighting, and former U.S. Ambassador Andrew Young on whether diplomacy is still an option. Then, has Sheriff Joe Arpaio finally met his match? These protesters not at all too happy with his tough stance on immigrants. Tonight on your world.
Well, the police are calling them monsters and saying that no one is safe. A rapist and a sniper stalking victims and attacking them, sometimes killing them, and somehow no witnesses have seen them catch their prey. Joining us now with more is Sergeant Andy Hill with the Phoenix Police Department. Sergeant, welcome. Good evening to you. What's the latest in this case?
Good evening, Martha. Well, the good news is that we had a community meeting the other night, which was attended by over 1,000 people. And since that meeting, we've gotten a couple of thousand phone calls to Silent Witness with tips and information. So the community is really getting behind us and giving us information.
What about the 2 Tempe cases that were added to the list of the baseline killer? What can you tell us about those and why they were added?
Well, Tempe had a homicide last September 8th of '05. And we have now established through forensic evidence that the homicide of Georgia Thompson in Tempe back in September is connected to the baseline killer cases. As far as the other Tempe case, there was a robbery that we believe by method of operation may be part of that group of cases as well.
What can you tell us about this James Dwayne Mullins, who recanted a confession that might have given you some kind of link to this baseline killer?
Not much, because he was a suspect and is a suspect for the Tempe in their case. Our focus is on the forensic evidence that connected the cases, and we have excluded Mullins from being involved as in the baseline killer cases with Phoenix.
I know you don't want to release a lot of details about what's connecting these crimes for you, but is there anything that's coming across in the tips that you're receiving and in the community meeting that you had that is getting you any closer to figuring out anything about this case?
Well, I think we're getting some very good leads, a lot of good leads. And of course, until you actually identify that suspect or make an arrest, you can't be sure whether or not those tips are going to be the ones that are going to get you there. But we feel that we're getting a lot of good information, and we are certainly going to go ahead and look at every single lead that we get, and thoroughly go through them.
What are you telling people in order to help keep them out of the line of fire from these people in terms of what time they go out? I know usually it happens late at night or early in the morning, but there is some kind of surveillance. They're watching them before they strike, right?
Well, it's not, you use the word stalking, we're kind of using lurking. Stalking implies that maybe they are actually doing background information on their victim, taking more than one day to try and find them. Basically what the suspect in each of these cases is doing, we believe, is as far as the baseline killer, he's out there lurking around, wearing certain clothing. The composite that's out there for him is probably what he's wearing at the time when he's out there trying to find a victim. In the case of the serial shooter, we have a suspect with no information yet that is out there driving around in a vehicle. We don't know exactly what kind of vehicle, but that person is driving around at odd hours of the night. So what the biggest thing we're really looking for from the public is to be cautious and careful out there. Call 911 for suspicious activity, and if you have any information about who the suspect might be in any of these cases, to call silent witness.
And what are you telling people, just in terms of their homes? And I've read so many accounts of people who are just seriously afraid to leave their homes right now.
Yeah, there are people that are certainly feeling that way. Most of the community at the community meeting was very positive about things. People are not being attacked in their homes or becoming victims in their homes. What's happening with the baseline killer is he's out there at night looking for people that are in isolated situations. He's having contact with people in some way before, either by trying to talk to them or walking by them. So we're encouraging people not to be in contact with suspicious persons, but when they see somebody approaching him in that sense, not to get out of their car, lock the doors, or if they're outside, go back into the business, get to a safe place and call 911. And that's really the key thing for people to kind of think about.
All right, and we hope they keep those calls coming and that it helps you catch these guys. Sergeant Hill, thank you very much. Good luck to you. All right, coming up, would you go to a polygamist on the run from the law for advice? But one man did that and more. Now he's in a bit of trouble, and you won't believe what happened in court. We have that whole story for you. And later, terror in the Middle East and missiles and airstrikes causing destruction. And at this hour, the death toll in the Middle East continues to rise. We're going to go back there live as news continues to break. We will be right back with more on The Record.
Because Fox is where the news is.
With a 5-star crash safety rating, the smooth-riding Mercedes-Benz M-Class is safe no matter where you sit. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 ML350.
eLoan's loan consultants don't make money based on the rate of your loan, so you get the rate you deserve. No wonder home buyers are so excited about eLoan. That's just one of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
To increase skin's radiance, dermatologists recognize Aveeno Positively Radiant Moisturizers. The soy complex is clinically proven to improve the key elements of radiance, including fine lines, sunspots, and blotchiness.
Can your moisturizer do that?
Aveeno Positively Radiant.
What happens when you move Comcast high-speed internet into your house? Well, pretty much everything. Because with Comcast, you get speeds up to 7 times faster than DSL, with free protection from McAfee Security, so you can shop and pay bills quickly and securely. Play games online, stream content, listen to your own commercial-free radio station. Plug into a better network with Comcast high-speed internet. Just $33 a month for up to 12 months. Comcast, the power of one.
Hundreds of dollars by switching car insurance. Yep, I'm the guy. Must be, because every day they tell me about a bazillion people who switched on TV, radio, billboards.
They show me entire stadiums worth of people who switched.
But Progressive Direct shows you side-by-side comparisons of competitors' rates and services, so you can see if their services are worth the savings. Those gazillion people should call Progressive, because no one likes to be wrong. Think easier. Think Progressive.
VHICS.com helps people find the car they want at a dealer near them. How do we improve that user experience?
Include a vanity mirror so people can get an idea of how they look in their new car. Give them a free VHICS comb, too.
And your idea?
VHICS TV. Not just web pages. Cool video test drives powered by Wheels TV.
Cool video test drives, now at VHICS.com. Just click Autos on Comcast.net.
Landmark sold the most Fords in the entire Northwest. But it wasn't just because of our low prices. A lot of customers choose Landmark because of our award-winning parts and service departments, where you'll find the most Ford master technicians in the Northwest. They're open weekdays until midnight and on Saturdays. Drop off your car and our free service shuttle will take you home or work, and we'll pick you up again. So come see us at Landmark Ford in Tigard. We're just off 55 at the Haines Street exit.
A polygamous leader accused of marrying off teenage girls to older men is on the FBI's most wanted list, but it seems that trouble runs in his family. So why was Warren Jeff's brother in court today? Joining us from Salt Lake City, Utah, Desert Morning News crime reporter Ben Winslow. Ben, welcome. Tell us why he was in court today.
Well, Seth, Jeff was sentenced on a single charge, a federal charge of harboring a fugitive. He's basically accused of helping keep his brother, fugitive fundamentalist LDS church leader Warren Jeffs, on the run. He was sentenced to 3 years probation in order to pay a $2,500 fine.
You know, they found some very interesting things in October of '05 when they found him. What was he using? What did he have in the car that he was going to try to help Warren Jeffs with in terms of getting away?
The FBI found some very interesting things. They found $142,000 in cash. They found prepaid phone cards. They found 7 cellular phones. They found prepaid credit cards, a number of letters and documents that were addressed to the prophet or Warren Jeffs or Uncle Warren. And, you know, among some of the most interesting things that they found that the FBI has been looking at, even a jar, a donation jar, a glass jar with Warren Jeffs' wanted poster picture on it, and a label that said pennies for the prophet.
And he's got a lot of people supporting him and thinking of everything that he might need to sort of travel around anonymously. And as you point out, a lot of money to do it. But, you know, how is he succeeding? Where do police think he is now?
Police are following a number of leads. I checked with the FBI again just a short time ago, and they say that they're still chasing leads, that they're still getting a number of tips ever since Warren Jeffs was placed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. But at this point, they really, if they do know exactly where he is, they're not exactly saying right now, but he could be anywhere. This is someone who is very mobile, who moves around a lot. The fundamentalist LDS Church has enclaves not only on the Utah-Arizona border where it's headquartered, they have enclaves in Canada, Nevada, Texas, South Dakota, Colorado, a number of different places, and that's just the ones that they know about.
Exactly. But, Ben, you know, they have to be having a very close eye on those places. Is there any speculation that he might be trying to travel around, you know, sort of in the regular parts of the community, that he might be in any kind of disguise, or would he really have to stay within his own people to get away with it?
He certainly has a lot of support from his most faithful followers. There have been a number of reported sightings, but so far some of them have just not panned out. There have also been reports that he may have been in the area recently, performing more child bride marriages. That's something that Arizona's Attorney General has told me in the recent past. But this is someone who is very mobile, and that's why the FBI has made him a top 10 fugitive.
And outline for us, if you would, exactly what they're looking for him for. For folks who haven't followed the story in a while, why are they searching for him? Why is he on that top 10?
Warren Jeffs is charged in Utah and Arizona with sex crimes. He's accused of arranging child bride marriages, basically forcing teenage girls into polygamous marriages with older men, threatening them with damnation, their soul in hell, if they left. Now, he's also been charged by federal prosecutors with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. There's a $100,000 reward out for information leading to his arrest.
All right, they've got their work cut out for him. Sounds like he's pretty well supplied. Ben Winslow, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Coming up right here, fighting and explosions, missiles and airstrikes in the Middle East tonight. We go up next live to the scene for the latest news on all of this escalating violence. We will be right back.
Lincoln Mercury has some of America's hottest selling new models. And to celebrate, every 2006 Mercury car, SUV, and minivan has the hottest deals of the summer during the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance. Get the 32 MPG Milan, winner of the Best Midsize Car Award. Now lease Milan with 0 first month payment, 0 down, and 0 cash due at $257 a month. Don't miss the Lincoln Mercury Celebration Clearance.
Pure Dell. It's an uncomplicated approach to unbridled growth. From Unix migration to server consolidation, you can expand seamlessly for a faster return on your IT dollar. And it all runs on new Dell PowerEdge servers featuring the reliability of dual-core Intel Xeon processors. So your enterprise doesn't simply survive, it thrives. That's the direct path to success. That's pure Dell.
Are you getting enough fiber in your diet? To get the 25 to 30 grams of daily fiber you need for ongoing good health, what else would you have time for? That's why there's great tasting Fiber Choice, the chewable fiber supplement. Each bottle contains 180 grams of fiber. You'd need more than 3 bottles of fiber pills at 3 times the price to get the same amount. And try new Fiber Choice Plus Calcium with as much calcium as 14 ounces of milk in each dose. Fiber Choice, original and new Plus Calcium chewable tablets.
How do you measure a company? Do you look at where they've been? Do you look at what they've done? At Citgo, we're not resting on our past. We're looking forward to the future. Providing steady, secure access to the largest liquid reserves in the Western Hemisphere. Today and for generations to come.
A 6-speed short throw gearbox, a sport-tuned suspension. Start making summer memories fast. The Mercedes-Benz Summer Event. See your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for a great lease offer on a 2006 C230 sports sedan.
Now back to the latest from the Middle East. Israeli officials reporting that a civilian vessel in the Mediterranean has been struck by a rocket that missed an Israeli warship, which was its intended target. And Fox News confirming that 4 Israeli sailors have disappeared after an attack on an Israeli warship off the coast of Lebanon. And at this hour, daylight breaking in the Middle East, which only means another day of violence is now on the horizon there. The death toll is rising. Neither side is backing off. Let's go to Jennifer Griffin, who is live at the Israel-Lebanon border. Jennifer, what's it like there right now?
Well, Martha, it's very eerie. As we've been describing all night, it was relatively quiet. All that we heard were outgoing shells, Israeli planes, warplanes flying overhead. They would be bombing inside Lebanon. But where we were, no Katyusha rockets came in. As you mentioned, dawn has just broken here. But again, there's no sign. You can hear the thump of artillery behind me right now. That thumping and sort of loud thunderclap of artillery going out started up when the dawn broke just a little while ago. Martha?
Jennifer, I have a quote from one Hezbollah resident who said, "If they kill us all, we will not give back their prisoners. We have nothing left to lose except our dignity." That's the kind of thinking that is involved in this. Shed a little bit of light, because you've spent so much time in this area, on how committed both sides are to winning this fight.
Well, I think what struck me most, Martha, when I was in Gaza earlier this week was that there was all this talk on the Israeli side and on the military side, a lot of bravado among the generals talking about if that they were going to teach the Palestinians a lesson and Hamas a lesson for having kidnapped that Israeli soldier 3 weeks ago now, and that part of their military campaign in the Gaza Strip was to make the punishment so painful that Hamas would weaken, that it would crumble, that the Palestinian people would turn against Hamas, and we saw none of that. We saw people supporting Hamas fully, if anything, supporting them more than ever after the Israeli strikes down in Gaza. So I can only imagine that in Lebanon that the people there are feeling the same. One thing that I was struck when we used to travel to Lebanon about a year and a half ago was how much Hezbollah was part of the community there. It's not a separate shadowy terrorist group that operates in the shadows there. In fact, it has representatives in the parliament. And the people there, the Shiites, make up most of the population in Lebanon, or at least a good portion of the population, and they all support Hezbollah. So these groups are very popular among the local populations, whether it's Hamas with the Palestinians or Hezbollah up in Lebanon.
Interesting, because Israel was describing them as just such a shadowy terrorist group isolated within Lebanon. Jennifer, I know we're going to see you a lot in the coming days. Thank you very much. And all of you, stay with Fox News for the latest on the crisis in the Middle East. Thank you for being with us tonight. Greta will be back.
Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Side effects include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Most patients were not bothered enough to stop taking Requip. Ask your doctor if Requip can help put your RLS to rest.